still never going to be used to that. Okay, so we'll mute everyone. All right, so I'm going to move this down just a tiny bit. Oh my goodness. All right. So thank you, ladies, for pivoting with me to online from outside, because I don't think we would have been dry for the full time. So, and this gives us an opportunity to kind of not go anywhere as well, which is kind of convenient at times too. So again, we're going to go through about an hour-long Hatha Vinyasa practice. We'll do some flowing, we'll do some stretching. And I just want you for the next hour, kind of let go of your preconceived idea of what you think a pose should look like or how you should look in a pose. And I really want you to think or feel how your body feels in that pose. Where do you feel strong and where do you feel soft and calm? So that's what I kind of want you to focus on for the next hour if you can. All right, so with that, we will begin. So I invite you to find whatever rest looks like for you, seated Shavasana, modified Shavasana, maybe propped up in a chair even feels good for the first few minutes. Just finding a couple moments here to really settle in, wiggle anything that you need to out, maybe roll your shoulders back and down before you settle in. You can even rock your head side to start. And then when you feel ready, I want you to really start to become heavy on your mat and on the ground beneath you. And we're going to start with that nice centering, cleansing breath in through the nose, filling up your belly, your ribs, and your chest. And really loudly sigh it all out, let it go. One more time, if that feels okay. A nice deep breath in through the nose, filling up all the spaces of your body that you can. And exhale, let it go. Inviting breath in now for a few moments. And maybe with each exhale, allowing yourself to let go and come into the gentle embrace of your warm body. Tuning in and starting to listen to the sensations. What are they telling you? With each exhalation, releasing a little bit deeper onto the mat beneath you. Maybe on your inhale, you can feel your chest pushing into the mat. And on your exhale, you can feel that release, the letting go of tension. Starting to invite stillness in. Allowing that little bit of stillness to really find all parts of your body here. Starting to find a sense of calm. Maybe even choosing to reach out to the calmness to provide comfort if you need it. Turning your attention to your heart center for a few moments. And to the knowing that your radiance and truth sits inside your heart's expansion. It is here that your life beats. It is here that your breath fills your lungs with warm air. And just staying here for a few more moments, finding your breath, your calm, and your stillness. And in your next few moments, I invite you to slowly start to wake yourself up, starting to find some small, gentle movements here, whatever feels authentic to your body. Maybe you touch one finger at a time to your thumb. We can roll out our wrists and our ankles. We can even clench our hands and our toes and then release them, really letting go of tension here. Whatever feels good in your body. We can rock our head side to side, nice and slow, or we could shrug our shoulders up and down, whichever one feels better for you this evening. And then in our next few breaths, legs out to the long edge of your mat, in the midline, arms up overhead, reaching nice and long, finding that big reach stretch here. And exhale, really releasing onto the mat. One more time if that feels okay. Inhale, reaching nice and long, creating some tension in your body. And then exhaling, really relaxing into the space you just created. And then hugging one knee in and then the other towards our chest, knees to chest here. We can rock side to side, maybe even kidney to kidney, shoulder to shoulder. Or you can find stillness. Again, inviting you to really feel the sensations of each pose. And always doing what feels good in your body. Beautiful. We're going to release out of that. We're going to let our feet dangle, hands just gentle on our knees, and draw those circles in the sky in whichever direction you'd like to start with, moving nice and slow with your breath. And then changing the direction if that feels okay for you. Beautiful. Coming back to center, we're going to release our right foot to the mat, reaching that left leg up to the sky. Knee can stay bent. Interlacing our fingers if that's available behind our thighs here, and flexing and pointing the left leg. And then circling our ankle out in one direction. And then the other if that feels okay. Beautiful. And then coming back to stillness, and we're just going to pull that left leg in towards the chest. If it's available, we're going to reach the right leg out long. We can also hold onto the back of the left shin here, really pulling that in, slowly lengthening out. If that right leg is extended, we're going to bend that right leg, placing the right foot on the mat. We're going to bend the left leg, placing the left foot on the mat here. You can find any movement, maybe a rock side to side or even a windshield washer feels good in this moment. And then we're going to find that on the other side. So reaching that right leg up this time, again, interlacing our fingers if that feels good. Flexing and pointing to start. Again, starting to tune into the sensations in your body. Where do you feel this stretch? Maybe it feels different on this leg than the other. Just observing. And then circling that ankle out in one direction, really taking care of our ankles here. And then the other. And then again, coming back to stillness, hugging that right leg in, again at the left leg, reaching out to the edge of the mat if that's available, but you don't have to. And we're going to pull that right leg in here. Shoulders on the mat the entire time. So we're not rounding. If that left leg is extended, we're going to bend it, placing the left foot on the mat and then bringing that right foot down here again. You can find any movement you need, maybe a windshield washer. Beautiful. And we're going to find a couple different variations of bridge pose here. So we're going to walk our feet in just to a normal traditional bridge pose. So finding whatever feels comfortable in your body here, arms on either side of us. Really rooting into all four corners of our feet. We're going to inhale as we exhale, lifting our hips up to the sky and really squeezing our glutes here.
Opening up the front of the body. And then as we exhale, we're going to slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. We're going to flow through our bridge flow just a few times here. So inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale to lower. 2 more times in this variation. Last time. And then lowering all the way down here. We're going to move our feet to the edge of the mat, keeping our knee or our feet walked a little bit closer into our body. But again, if we're taking care of our knees, walking them further out. So our feet are to the edges of the mat. Toes are still pointing forward. So are our knees. So we're not bending in. We're just, toes and knees are pointing straight ahead. And we're going to find a wider legged bridge here, really turning on the glutes and the legs in all different directions here. Once again, inhaling here, and then as we exhale, lifting our hips up to the sky. Maybe you notice you can't go as high in this variation as in the traditional one, and again, that is okay. We're just turning on our muscles in a different way. And then as we exhale, lowering down. Flowing through this nice and slow, trying to pull your knees away from each other so that your knees are still almost in alignment with your ankles. Again, moving with your breath. 2 more times here, really squeezing our glutes to lift and then lower. Last time through, and then lowering all the way down. Beautiful. We're going to walk our feet into the middle of the mat. Feet are going to touch. We're going to let our knees stay open, soles to touch, like our butterfly. This is probably going to be the one variation of bridge pose where you're not going to have a lot of movement. And again, that's okay. We're going to turn on the inside of our legs as well as the outside of our legs at the same time. So beautiful. Setting up here, really rooting down to the mat on the outsides of our feet. We're going to inhale here. And as we exhale, lift our hips up to the sky. Again, there might not be a lot of lift, and that's okay. Holding for a couple of breaths. And then as we exhale, lowering down. Beautiful. Finding that flow for just a few here. Inhale. And then lowering back down, trying to keep our knees splayed open in that butterfly. And maybe your glutes don't even lift off the mat. Maybe you just squeeze them and imagine them lifting. Beautiful. 2 more times. And last time through. Beautiful, letting that go. We can use our hands, close our legs up like a book, and then windshield washer that out from side to side if that feels good. Maybe knees to chest feels really good here. Beautiful, then coming back to center, we're gonna reach our right or our left arm over our head, rolling over onto our right or our left side body. And then pressing through our palm, and we're going to make our way up into seated to start. Again, you can find a pillow underneath you if that feels better. Spine nice and tall, really rooting down through our sits bones. Finding our breath here, inhaling up. Exhaling down through heart center. One more time, just like this, inhaling up nice and slow. And exhaling down. Beautiful. We're going to release our hands to either sides of our body, just letting our fingertips on the mat here, or maybe they don't even reach the mat, and that's okay. Again, finding breath. We're going to inhale, lift our palms up to the sky, reaching up. Maybe we even look up at our fingertips. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring our palms facing down all the way down. Maybe chin comes to our chest.
Beautiful. Inhaling out nice and slow. And exhaling, pushing all that energy down away from us that we don't need. 2 more times, inhaling up, looking up if that's available. And exhale, pressing down. 1 more time, inhaling up. And exhaling down. Beautiful. Coming back to center, we're going to place our left hand outside of the right knee or the right shin even, or the right thigh. We're just going to reach our right fingertips gently behind us, twisting open to the right. And I can hear it raining very loudly out there now. So thankfully we're not outside. Beautiful. Coming back to center, just finding that gentle twist on the other side. So right hand outside the left thigh or on the left shin, wherever that's available. Left fingertips just gentle on the mat behind us or beside us. Beautiful. We're going to come back to center. We're going to make our way into our tabletop pose. So finding that strong foundation here, fingertips spread nice and wide to protect our wrists. Wrists are underneath shoulders, knees are underneath our hips, spine nice and tall. And then as we exhale, tailbone lifts, belly lowers, heart shining forward into our cow. Exhale, really rounding our spine, pointing our tailbone down, chin to chest cat. Beautiful. Finding our cow. And then our cat. Flowing through this at your perfect pace. Opening up this movement if that feels good. Holding one posture longer than the other if you need. We can even rock our hips forward and back as we go, whatever feels good. Two more times here. And last time through. Beautiful. Coming back to center here. We're going to spin our right foot off the mat, tucking those right toes, coming into our supported side plank. So right wrist underneath right shoulder, opening up. Holding here. Beautiful. Circling that left arm around, coming back to our tabletop. Circling that left foot off the mat, tucking those toes, left wrist underneath shoulder, opening up. Beautiful. Circling that back down to center. Flowing through this side to side just a few times at your pace. Again, allowing your breath to guide the movement. Allowing the inhales to start the movement and the exhales to open up. One more time on each side. And when you finish your last round, coming back to center. And then we're going to bring our knees to the edge of the mat, big toes touch, sitting back on our heels, really walking our hands forward, melting ourselves down towards the mat, finding that child's pose. Settling in, allowing ourselves to be really heavy here. Breathing into the back body. Again, inviting any movement here that you need. You can rock your hips side to side, maybe rolling out your forehead from temple to temple. Especially if we're struggling with any type of headache with the weather change, this might feel really good for you. And again, I invite you to stay in your child's pose for as long as you need to, knowing that you don't have to move at all. We're going to find stillness in our child's pose, and in the next few breaths, we're going to look forward at our hands, pressing into our palms, making our way back up to our tabletop. Finding that strong foundation here, fingertips spread nice and wide. We're going to reach the left leg to the back of the mat. Maybe we lift those toes off the mat. If it's available today, we're going to reach that right arm ahead in front of us. And then as we exhale, we're going to round our spine, bringing our knee towards our elbow, reaching back out. Exhale, really rounding in. Inhaling out. 2 more times. Last time through. Beautiful. Lowering back down to our tabletop. Maybe we rock side to side. Coming back to center, we're going to circle out our hips. Before we find that in the other direction. So we're going to circle our hips around, pretending almost like there's a pencil in your belly button and you're drawing a circle on the ground. So really reaching forward over your fingers and extending back in a nice big circle here. Beautiful. And then coming back to center. On our next exhale, reaching the other leg to the back of the mat, maybe reaching the opposite arm forward if that's available, pressing through the right palm. And then on our exhalation, rounding in knee to elbow, reaching back out, extending long, rounding in. Beautiful, extending, rounding in. 2 more times. Rounding, last time through, and then rounding in here. Beautiful, reaching out, and then lowering that back down. We're gonna find circles in the opposite direction here, so finding those hip circles, just in the other direction. Just for a few. And then coming back to center, we're gonna walk our hands forward a couple inches, walking our knees back if we need to, finding our kneeling plank. Again, if chaturanga push-ups are not in your practice, I invite you to find your kneeling plank, shifting back to child's pose. If you'd like to find a half push-up, on our exhalation, we're gonna lower halfway down, elbows into ribs, pressing back up, finding child's. Inhaling forward. Lowering halfway, rising back up and pressing back. Beautiful. Flowing through this. Two more times. Beautiful, then finding our child's pose for a moment. We're gonna inhale forward to our kneeling plank. Maybe we even tuck our toes to our full plank, shoulders over wrists, pulling our shoulder blades away from the spine here, in whichever variation we're in. Holding for a few breaths. And then on our next exhale, we're gonna hinge our hips up and back, finding our first downward facing dog. Finding the movement you need to settle in here, pedaling it out, rocking our hips side to side. Maybe lifting both heels at a time and lowering, whatever feels good. And then finding stillness here for a few breaths. Really reaching your sits bones way high to the sky. Feeling your chest melt back towards your thighs.
And then bending our knees, making our way to the top of the mat, finding that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, rooting down through our feet, rising up to the sky. And exhaling, mountain. Beautiful. Rolling our shoulders back here, finding our strong mountain pose for a moment. Beautiful, welcoming in the sun that we can't see at the moment. We're gonna inhale up to the sky. And then just exhaling down through heart center. One more time, inhaling up. Exhaling our hands down through heart center as we bow in, finding that forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, reaching the left foot to the back of the mat. We're gonna lower that left knee. You can untuck your toes, rise up, low lunge. Exhale, folding forward, walking our hands back as we straighten that right leg. Flexing the right toes towards our face. Again, spine can stay tall, or maybe we round in. Here's Harley. Beautiful, rising up halfway, walking our hands forward, planting that right foot back on the mat. Left fingertips can be cupped on the mat or left hand on the mat, opening up to the right. Hand can also be on the low back. Beautiful, circling that right arm around. We're gonna tuck the left toes, bend that left knee, left foot meets right, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down as we rise up. Exhaling, mountain. Beautiful, inhaling up. Exhale, hands down through heart center as we bow in, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, right foot to the back of the mat. This time, lowering that right knee. You can untuck your toes, rising up, low lunge on this side. Exhale, folding forward, walking our hands back, straightening that left leg this time. Again, spine can stay tall, or you can round in, forehead to knee. Walking our hands forward, planting that left foot, right wrist underneath right shoulder, opening up. Circling that left arm around, tucking the right toes, bending that knee, right foot meets left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down as we rise up. And exhaling, mountain. Beautiful, finding our mountain pose here. I am gonna grab a sip of water. And now we'll flow. Inhaling up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're gonna plant our hands. We're gonna step back into our plank or our kneeling plank, holding this here. If we're in full plank, we're gonna lower our knees and then we're gonna lower all the way down to our bellies. Beautiful, looping our shoulders back, rising up, baby cobra or cobra. Exhale, lower. One more time, rising up. Exhale, lower. We're gonna tuck our toes. We're gonna rise up into plank or kneeling plank. And then exhale, hinging our hips up and back, finding that downward facing dog. Bending our knees, making our way to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, reaching up to the sky. We're gonna place our palms facing down as we lower down into our chair. Beautiful, we're gonna inhale, really rotate our shoulders, rising up,
palms down, lowering back. Beautiful, flowing through this just a couple more times. Opening up our shoulders, creating some strength in our legs here. Getting all nice and spicy one more time. Holding our chair. And then as we exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, stepping back once again into our plank or kneeling plank. Shoulders over wrists. Again, protracting our shoulders, pulling our shoulder blades away from our shoulder, away from the spine. If we're in full plank, we're gonna lower our knees to the mat and then we're gonna lower our belly all the way down to our bellies. Elbows into the side rib cage. We're gonna inhale up into baby cobra or cobra. Exhale, lower. One more time, really strengthening our backs here, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, lower. Tucking our toes, lifting up into our kneeling plank or our plank. And then exhale, hinging up, finding that downward facing dog. Bending our knees and making our way in your own time to the top of the mat, finding that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. Again, palms facing down, lowering into that chair. And rising back up, rotating our shoulders, palms down, lowering back. Beautiful, flowing a couple more times here. 2 more times. Last time through. Holding our chair. Beautiful, and then we're gonna exhale, fold forward, really becoming heavy here. Allowing our neck to be nice and heavy. Maybe we shake our head yes, and no, and yes again. And then in our next exhalation, we're gonna slowly rise up one vertebrae at a time. Arms are really heavy. Shoulders rolling back and down last. Finding mountain. Maybe we'd like a sip of water. And then joining me at the top of the mat when you're ready. Beautiful. We're going to inhale up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, stepping back into our plank or our kneeling plank. Holding here. And then exhale, hinging our hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhaling our right leg to the sky. And then as we exhale, bringing that knee towards the chest, foot in between our hands. Rising up, crescent lunge. We're gonna pivot that left foot, opening up, warrior 2. Exalting our warrior here, right palm reaches up, maybe we reach forward. Exalting here, left hand can also go around our low back. Beautiful, making our way back. Warrior 2. Bending that right arm, placing it on the top of our thigh, circling this left arm around if that feels good, or just finding our side angle pose here. Maybe left palms down, bicep by our ear. Noticing that we're one long line of energy on the left side. Fingertips really active here. And then as we exhale, we're gonna rise up, exalt our warrior. Really using the strength of our core here, lowering back down,
Finding that side angle. Rising up. Exalt. 2 more times. And last time through. And we're going to rise up to our warrior 2. Right leg straightens, really hinging that left hip out. Toppling into our triangle. Left arm can extend or it can be on our low back. Beautiful, rising back up to our warrior 2. We're gonna heel toe in just a little bit, circling that left arm around, pivoting that left foot, finding our crescent lunge just for a moment. Hands at heart center, really rooting through our right foot. We're gonna rise up, letting our left toes be gentle on the mat. Spine nice and tall. You can stay here in your warrior 3. Or with a slight micro bend in that right leg, we're gonna hinge forward, flexing the left toes. Arms can stay at heart center. We can find airplane. And then when you're ready, rising up out of that, we can just shake that out. And then making our way back to our mountain pose for a breath. Beautiful. We're going to inhale up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Finding that halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, stepping back once again into our plank or our kneeling plank. Shoulders away from the spine. And then as we exhale, hinging our hips up and back, finding downward facing dog. Inhaling that left leg to the sky. And then as we exhale, reaching that knee towards our chest, foot in between our hands, hand to heel if we get stuck. Rising up, crescent lunge. Pivoting that right foot, opening up, warrior 2. Left palm reaches up, maybe we reach forward, exalt our warrior. Making our way back. Warrior 2, finding that supported side angle. Again, you can circle that arm out if that feels good. Right palm can face down, bicep by our ear. And then as we exhale, rising up, exalting our warrior. Beautiful. Flowing here nice and slow with your breath. Really using the strength of your legs and your core to move you. Again, where do you feel strong? One more time. And then rising back up to our warrior 2, straightening that left leg, really kicking out the right hip, toppling into our triangle pose. Rising back up, warrior 2. You can heel toe in if you need to, circling that right arm around, pivoting that right foot. Crescent lunge. Hands to heart center, rooting through the left foot, rising up. Letting our toes be heavy here. Really inhaling, creating length through our spine. And if it feels okay in your body today, we're gonna exhale, hinge forward, finding that warrior 3 position. Again, hands can be at heart center. We can find airplane arms. You can even extend your arms forward if that's available.
And then as we exhale, we're gonna rise all the way up, finding our mountain pose. We can shake that out. And then meeting at the top of our mat here. Maybe we roll our shoulders back and down a couple of times. We can shake that out. We're gonna inhale up. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're gonna plant our hands. We're gonna reach the left foot to the back of the mat. And we're gonna lower that left knee down. You can untuck your toes. I'm gonna face you here. We're gonna do that mobility movement if you were in class on Sunday. So we can heel toe out that right foot just a little bit if that's more comfortable. Left hand can be on the mat or we can cup our fingertips. And we're gonna twist open to the right. Again, you can reach that left knee back behind you a little bit more. If you have enough flexibility, you can tuck the left toes and you can keep that knee off the mat the entire time as well, just depending where you're at today. We're really gonna open up our hips and add mobility here. As we exhale, we're gonna bend our elbow, bringing that right elbow on the inside of the right leg. We're gonna reach the elbow down, maybe even towards the ankle. And then as we exhale, opening back up. Beautiful. Reaching that down. Again, you can heel toe out that right foot a little bit here. Opening up to this side. Beautiful. 2 more times. Again, moving really slow here. Really stretching out the hip. And last time through. And then holding that here. Beautiful. We're going to bring that right hand down. We can heel to that right foot if we've brought it out. We're going to bring the right knee to meet the left and we're going to find a child's pose just for a moment. We're going to inhale, come forward to our tabletop, tuck our toes, lift our hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then bending our knees and making our way slowly to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, find that halfway lift. Exhale, fold, reaching up. And exhaling, mountain. Finding that mobility on the other side, inhaling up. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, reaching the right foot to the back of the mat. This time you can lower that right knee. Again, you can heel toe out that left foot a little bit here. Right fingertips cupped, or maybe right hand is all the way down as we open up to the left. We're gonna bend that left arm on the inside of our left leg, maybe bring the elbow down towards the ankle, but wherever it lands is fine. Opening up. Beautiful. Bending that in. Opening up. Two more times. Last time through. And then opening that up, holding that twist. And then we're going to circle that left arm around, maybe heel toe that left foot in. Left knee meets right. Finding our child's pose. Maybe we make this an active child's pose. Maybe fingertips are cupped on the mat, lifting our forearms off, forehead down. Or we can release all the way down to the mat. We can even bring our hands back beside our feet. We're going to inhale, look forward at our hands, pressing up into our tabletop. And then we're going to lower all the way down to our bellies here. We're going to find our locust pose. So arms on either side of our body. Now a different variation of locust pose, if you can't lift your chest
and your legs off the mat at the same time if that's not comfortable for you. Hands can stay beside our rib cage, and we can just roll up into a cobra or baby cobra. Finding the variation that feels good for you. If you'd like to find a full locust pose, we're going to bring our forehead down to the mat, really rooting heavy into the pubic bone. So really pressing that pubic bone gently into the mat. That's going to be your anchor. Reaching our arms to the edge of the mat, palms facing in, fingertips really reaching back. And then on our exhale, we're going to lift our legs and our chest off the mat, reaching our fingertips back towards our feet. Or finding that gentle cobra. And then as we exhale, lowering all the way down to our bellies, maybe right cheek down, left cheek up. We can rock our hips side to side. Beautiful. We're going to find that one more time, bringing our forehead back to center. I invite you to find the locust, or if you'd like to find a chest expansion locust, you can interlace your fingers, squeezing your shoulder blades together, letting your arms lengthen, or just finding a regular locust or your cobra. Again, finding your root, pressing your pubic bone down into the mat. And then on our next exhale, we're going to rise up, finding your variation here. And then on your exhale, we're going to lower back down, this time left cheek down, right cheek up. Again, you can rock your hips side to side. We're going to bring our hands beside our rib cage. And we're going to press up and back, finding a child's pose again, stretching out our back. Looking forward at our hands, we're going to press up into our tabletop. And we're going to find our seated pose. Beautiful. And we're going to bring our legs out to either side here. There's some thunder. If it's easier for you, you can bend one leg, bringing it in as we side bend to this side. If you'd like both legs to stay out, that's fine too. We are going to find this V shape to start with, and then you can bend your legs as we go, just finding what feels more comfortable for you. So we're going to find a nice flat back here, really rooting our sits bones down. Fingertips just gentle on the mat if that's available. And then we're just going to finger walk out gently, keeping our spine tall and just going down to wherever feels like it's your edge. Not feeling pain, just feeling a nice deep stretch, maybe an opening on the inside of our thighs here. Again, maybe our forearms come down. Maybe we can lower further than that, but trying to keep that spine straight. We're not rounding in here. And then as we exhale, gently rising up out of that. So we're going to side bend to the right first. If it does feel more comfortable, you can bend that left leg, bringing it on the inside of the right leg. If not, we're going to reach this right hand down the leg. If it's available, we're going to reach the inside sole of the foot, or the inner arch of that right foot with the right hand. And we're going to reach this arm up and over. The left hand can also go on our low back. It can also go behind your head. So wherever feels comfortable for you. Maybe we can reach our toes, maybe we can't. Again, that left leg can be bent if that's easier and provides you more stability and comfort. Beautiful. We're going to inhale, rise up out of that. We're going to find that on the other side. I should have mentioned your hand does not need to reach the inside of the sole. It could be wherever it lands on that leg.
So we're going to go to the other side. So again, if your knee was bent and that felt better for you, you can bend the right knee in towards the left. We're going to reach the left leg along our leg. Maybe it reaches on the inside sole of that foot, reaching that right arm up and over, again, behind our head, on our low back, wherever feels good. We're going to inhale, rise up out of that. Bringing our hands behind us. We're going to close our legs up. Maybe you even want to shake it out. And then we're going to find the middle of the mat. And we're going to slowly lower down onto our backs, hugging one knee in and then the other, finding that knees to chest. Again, maybe it feels good to give a really nice big hug here. Maybe a rock side to side. Beautiful. Coming back to center, we're going to let our feet fall to the ground. Knees are bent. Arms are in cactus or T. And then as we exhale, we're going to let our knees fall to the right. Shoulders on the mat. We can look straight ahead or out to the left. Tuning back into your breath. Maybe we even find our heart center. Can you feel your heart beating? With no judgment as to how fast or slow it is. Just becoming aware. If this stretch on this side of the body feels really good for you today, and if you're really comfortable, I invite you to stay here. If you'd like to find this on the other side, we're going to inhale back to center and exhale, dropping to the left. Again, starting to slow everything down. Noticing the sensations in your body. Where do you feel soft and calm? In our next few breaths, we're going to inhale our knees back to center. And we're going to find our hammocks pose, which is also a variation of Shavasana, our modified Shavasana. We're going to walk our feet to the edges of the mat. They can be further away from our body. And we're just going to let our knees fall in together here. We can let our shoulders roll back and down. This is really beautiful for our low back. If you have any sciatic pain. And I want you just to start to become heavy here for a few moments. Letting your hips settle. Relaxing your shoulders and your neck. Breathing into your body. And without changing or manipulating it in any way, on your inhalation, can you feel your chest rising and falling? Maybe you can feel the back of your body pressing into your mat.
And then relaxing on your exhale. And if this feels like rest for you, I invite you to stay here. If you'd like to find a different variation of your final resting pose, Shavasana, I invite you to come into that pose now, wiggling anything out, really becoming relaxed and heavy. Joining me in a cleansing breath, inhaling through the nose, filling up your belly, your ribs, and your chest. And really loudly exhale, sigh it all out, letting everything go. Letting go of yesterday, letting go of tomorrow, letting go of today. And just focusing for the next few moments on the here and now. Maybe giving yourself a little bit of gratitude for showing up today. Maybe it was really hard for you. Maybe it's hard to find stillness, to find calm. And just honoring where you are today, no matter where it is. Really tuning into your breath and your body. Finding that stillness and that calm for a few gentle moments. Allowing me to hold this virtual space for you until the time is right to bring you back. And in the next few moments, slowly allowing movement back into your body. Coming back into your space when you feel ready. Finding those gentle movements. And then expanding them when your body feels like it's ready. And then in the next few moments, I invite you to find any pose or posture that your body is asking for. Again, you can do the big reach stretch, maybe knees to chest, maybe just giving yourself a nice big hug. Or maybe stillness is where you need to stay, and that's okay too. And in the next few moments, I invite you to bend your knees, placing your feet on the mat, reaching your right or your left arm over your head, rolling over onto your right or your left side body.
And then pressing through your palm and making your way up into seated lotus pose. And then closing with a breath together here in unison virtually. We're going to inhale up to the sky. Maybe we look up at our hands. And then as we exhale, pulling in all that beautiful energy down through our heart center. Thank you so much for joining me this evening and for pivoting. And I'm just so grateful that everybody has been so patient and kind. The love and the light in me truly sees and honors the love and the light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. I went a couple minutes over, so I hope that's okay.
Thank you, Laura.
It's
Thank you,
okay,
Laura.
and it's
Great.
raining here now.